Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? As for we over here, we've been doing perfectly alright. And I will say Merry Christmas to you this time in arrears and a prosperous New Year in advance, alright? Now, the first update on my list is an expose by Jim Obaze. Now, since his appointment in July 2023, since Bola Tinubu came to power, Jim Obaze has not given a report on the job he was asked to do. What is this job all about? Probing the Central Bank of Nigeria, as well as other parastatals and other ministries affiliated to the Central Bank of Nigeria or to the Apex Bank. All right. But his first report has caused controversy all over Nigeria by implicating lots of people. This time around, we'll be exposing straight from the documentary that was passed, or from the memo that was passed to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president, passed by Jim Obaze. We'll be exposing how former Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zenab Ahmed, and the former Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Gambari, allegedly looted 17.3 trillion naira with Godwin Emefiele, the erstwhile central bank governor. Now, the truth is, when you look at the memo of Jim Obaze, you would notice that right from his appointment in July, he has taken his time to probe the Central Bank of Nigeria. He has also taken his time to probe the FIRS as well as other parastatals linked to the Apex Bank, all right? But he has neither brought a report, neither has he called anybody's name, all right? But this time around, he has implicated not just Godwin Emefiele, he implicated Boss Mustafa, he also implicated Sabiu Tunde Yusuf, and also went further right now to implicate Zainab Ahmad, and further, he's implicating the former Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Gambari, all right? These people cannot escape this. This expose is so deep because the money involved is so vast. 17.3 trillion naira. It can actually fund the budget of Nigeria for a year, all right? That means lots of money have gone down the drain, unaccounted for. Yeah, unaccounted for. So, in this expose coming up your screens, you will be hearing how Mrs. Zainab Ahmed allegedly looted. You know, there has been this this cliche amongst politicians that only a woman can man the Ministry of Finance. But Mrs. Zainab Ahmed took advantage of that to loot 17.3 trillion naira. Jim Obaze, President Bola Tinubu's special investigator, trolling the books of the Central Bank of Nigeria, has accused Ibrahim Gambari and Zainab Ahmed of involvement in mismanagement of 17 trillion naira in public funds in connivance with Godwin Emefiele, the erstwhile Central Bank of Nigeria governor. The two officials, who served respectively as Chief of Staff and Finance Minister under former President Muhammadu Buhari, were blamed for a series of questionable use of ways and means instrument of the CBN that left the country unable to account for 17.3 trillion naira. Stealing of public funds through advances to government, otherwise known as ways and means, constitutes a criminal offense, Mr. Obaze said in a memo to the president believed to have been delivered on December 20th. The sum of 17.369 trillion naira remains unaccounted for, as neither due to appropriation nor approvals exist to support the diversion of public funds through this medium. This constitutes an offense under the Penal Code as applicable in the Federal Capital Territory, to which actors and conspirators in this instance are liable, Mr. Obaze added. Mr. Gambari declined comments when reached sometime about this particular case. The former Chief of Staff appeared to be facing his first public controversy since sources reported how his son, Bolaji Gambari, was emerging as a top influence peddler following his father's appointment. The October 2020 story infuriated the Chief of Staff, who was a top diplomat at the United Nations for decades, prompting him to order a protracted tetering of sources few months later in January 2021. Between Mr. Gambari and Mrs. Ahmad, who was finance minister until the expiration of last administration in May. Trillions of naira went unaccounted for after unauthorized appropriation, Mr. Obaze said, adding that nearly 23 trillion naira in illegal spending was suspiciously authorized to be covered through conversion of Nigerian assets by the National Assembly. Mrs. Ahmad also declined comments to reach lots of sources to answer for this particular allegation. The special investigator said the exploitation of ways and means was a criminal offense that should be severely punished under existing regulations of the central bank. The Supreme Court should be approached to nullify the approval that the 9th National Assembly gave to scrutinize the ways and means of 22.7 trillion naira, Mr. Obaze added, noting that it contravened Section 38 of the CBN Act of 2007. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has yet to comment on the findings of the special investigator, whose report last week was the first from his office since he was appointed in July to look into years of corruption at the central bank and other federal institutions. But the probe has drawn criticisms from some experts, including a former CBN Deputy Governor Kingsley Moghalu, who said the disclosure of the special investigator's activities could undermine the confidence of potential foreign investors in the Nigerian economy. Supporters of the administration, however, said investors should place confidence in jurisdiction where people could be held to account for corruption. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Nation Voice Tower. Okay, that was the expose from Jim Obaze there. Now, in as much as Jim Obaze, the investigative accountant that was saddled with the responsibility of probing the Central Bank of Nigeria and its activities and its inconcurrent transactions or irreconcilable transactions over time during the administration of Godwin Emefiele, who is now in trouble or on bail. Yes, he has fulfilled the 300 million naira bail condition granted him. All right. Now, Jim Obaze, despite his past, has taken his time to probe this Apex Bank, all right? Not just because he was saddled with that responsibility, but because it is actually the right thing to do at this point in time, all right? If we can account for over 17.23 trillion naira in the public coffers of the country, then what are we doing? All right, so I would give it to Tinubu, the first of its kind. I would give a kudos to him for making it a point of duty to probe the Apex Bank. Now, I feel this probe is due to a personal vendetta, yeah, but it's actually for the betterment of Nigerians, all right? If these monies will be accounted for and brought to reality, because we've seen situations where billions and trillions of naira have been accounted for, but they've gone down the drain unaccounted for, right and time again, all right? So the formal administration of President Muhammadu Buhari from the APC that came and promised transparency and all that did not do anything, because from all indications and from these probes, okay, we could see vehemently that this particular administration was filled with a high level of corrupt activities and corrupt people. In other news, the Vote Must Count Initiative International, also known as VMCII, has affirmed the authenticity of the chairmanship of Julius Abure of the Labour Party. Now, over time, Barrister Julius Abure has been in controversy with lots of party members. I told you, we reported time and time again, how the Labour Party was blown into factions, one led by Lamidi Apapa and Mansle Meragbe and all the cohorts, and the other led by Barrister Julius Abure, the same faction where Peter Obi and Dirty Baba Ahmed allegedly belonged to. Now, countless times this case has been, charged to court and it's been addressed. But this time around, the Vote Must Count Initiative International, this is a platform, a very, very strong society that advocate for transparency in elections over time. All right, they have come out publicly to affirm the authenticity of Julius Abure as the only recognized Labour Party chairman. But there is something more important in this particular press conference organized by the VMCII. It's going to shock you that by this time of the year, even after 8 months in office by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there is a platform or a society that is still calling for his resignation. Yes, the VMCII is publicly calling for the resignation of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Why? Because they feel that lots of activities or lots of things in the country now. Well, let me not say much. Politics is not all about financing. It's not all about it's not about political parties and all that. It's all about governance. Governance is inclusive, all right? When you're getting governance very, very wrong, then people will call for your resignation, okay? Now, stay tuned for the VMCII and its coordinator.
Nigerians, it is time to take back your nation. And the only way to do so is to come all out and ask Bola Tinubu to go, resign and allow Nigerians breathe once and for all for the good of our existence as a country. We can't be killed every day by the military spraying shots at villages randomly and the Fulani killer squad ending people without chase by any security and law enforcement agency for the whole 3 hours of the killing operation. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished Nigerians, we didn't come here to bother you with the instability of Nigeria as a nation via the actions and the inactions of our confused leaders, but we have come here indeed to celebrate great personalities in our party politics and some of our great and courageous media experts we are going to be honoring today. Firstly, we again use this privilege to appreciate the Labour Party for giving the VMCII the opportunity to stand before them today to inform the world that the leadership of the Labour Party under Barrister Julius Abure has done very well and deserves a pass mark to move to the next level as the case may be. We are using this opportunity to say thank you, to appreciate the leadership of Barrister Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party. This is an official endorsement from the Vote Must Count International Initiative. And we call on all Nigerians to support this because we have seen that the NWC and the neck of the Labour Party has done well to present the Abure leadership to this level. We have come to say we appreciate you. Julius Abure, we discovered that you and your team have worked very hard to keep the party together, even with all the troubles it faced before, during, and after the 2023 general elections, where some of the members became greedy to sell the values of the party to the ruling party, the APC. We saw how you fought like a wounded lion to restore the party and its credibility.
All right, the VMCII there with the press conference. Yes. Now, aside Yaga Africa, the VMCII, and the European Union, okay, these three societies or these three associations have exonerated themselves from the fraudulent activities, the electoral irregularities that took place during the 2023 February 25th general elections. Now, not because they feel that it's actually their job, but they feel that it's the right thing to do. Okay, so I will still commend the VMCII for coming out publicly, fearlessly, and courageously to call for the resignation of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, this is not just about himself or about his fraudulent emergence as president, but it's all about governance. All right. Now, on 25th day of December, there were recorded 122 killings in Plateau State, Burkinladi to be very, very precise, all right? This is all about governance, all right? If he had put things in place and had put responsible people as ministers of defense and ministers of state for defense respectively, then I think that something positive will have happened in Plateau State other than the wanton killings that took place on the 25th day of December. 2023, a day that was meant to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ for Christians, and it turned out to be a sad day for the people of Barkin Ladi in Plateau State. All right. Aside that, lots of heinous activities, unpolitical activities have taken place since Bola Tinubu became president. All right. Over 3 trillion naira has gone down the drain, spent on frivolities, okay, during this particular administration. I could go on and count other incoherent activities or unpolitical activities that could actually be responsible for the president to be impeached. Right on, all right. So I would still commend the VMCII for always coming up fearlessly. Remember that during the court sessions when the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal was on course, all right, the VMCII and its members stubbornly stood at the court premises waving flags and placards calling for the resignation of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and calling for the transparency of all the judges included in the panel for the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, all right. So they have been constant in this cause to reclaim the democratic, or the democracy in Nigeria, all right. So they aren't visitors to this new occurrence or this new emergence or fraudulent emergence of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government, all right. Finally, let me touch a part in Rivers State. Now, the controversy in Rivers State has been going on and on, all right. Sim Fubara, the present governor, has been in controversy with his predecessor, Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike. Now, it's been resolved on the periphery, yeah, because I can tell you for free that there is still something going on in the background, right? Politics and its controversies can never be resolved on the peripheral basis, okay? The fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into that particular controversy to speak up and sign or make Sim Fubara sign an agreement does not mean it is over, all right? Now, the core of what I'm trying to say is Sim Fubara, in any case, has to be commended, whether he is of the good side or bad side. He has to be commended for steadying the ship in Rivers State. How? Just less than a year in office, Sim Fubara has done lots of projects. He has brought on lots of developmental infrastructural projects that has never been known, all right. This is a good fit for him, and the people of Rivers State have taken it upon themselves to speak good of him anytime, any day, and pledge their undying support for their governor. I have Mr. Tonye Prince-Will, who is a philanthropist, a politician, and also a film producer, right? This man has come to attest to the fact of that Sim Fubara has been a very, very good and attentive governor to the people of Rivers State. Please pay attention to Mr. Prince-Will, Tonye, and other Riverians while they attested to their support for their governor, Sim Fubara.
Well, I'm happy and proud. Not everything is politics. Governance is important, and when we see this kind of performance, we want to recognize it. So this is my first occasion I've attended. I've avoided government activities. As many of you know, I'm about to bury my father, so my focus has been strictly on that. But when I saw and heard about what was happening here, I thought I needed to identify with it. At least come and show our support and encouragement. If the governor does good things, it doesn't matter what party he is in or what party he represents. What matters is that the people get these benefits. For those of you that know me, you know that I've always stood for what is good for the people. It's not about party politics. So the position is clear. In this case, we have to support it. I'm encouraged by what I saw today, and I'm happy for the people.
So you want to talk something about the
no, I mean, there are people that talk and there are people that do. I don't belong to the talking class. I prefer to be in the doing class. So my actions, I believe, speak louder than words. My being here, I believe, speaks for itself. Like I said, my focus is governance. My focus right now, priority right now, is how do I put my father in the ground. I'm a member of Calabar Kingdom. It's not a small task. So that's where my focus is. But this window came, this opportunity came, just to show and let my support.
Was there any advice for the actors?
They should just remember that it's acting. At the end of the day, everybody will go. We've seen so many debates, people accusing each other, left, right, and center, and they end up working together. All the actors can themselves testify to the fact that some of the people that are working with now are the same people that were abusing yesterday. So we should, allow peace reign. Let's let the state move forward and everybody to cool their temper and remember that what is more important is Rivers State than individual interests.
All right, that was that. And I would love to say that the people of Rivers State have really tried their best in supporting their governor. All right, it's not a new thing, yeah, but we have seen situations where such controversies emanated, all right, and the governor didn't really have the backings of the people, okay? So the controversy between Sim Fubara and Nyesom Ezenwike, the minister of the FCT, has escalated to another level. But in the background, I would say, and I will tell you for free, in the background, all right, Sim Fubara seems to be playing a two-edged sword in this particular controversy. Why? Because he doesn't want to lose the seat he has suffered to gain in the next 4 years, and he wants to complete his next tenure, that is erupting or adding up to 8 years. All right, so he is trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. But in any case, I will tell you what, the people of Rivers State have reiterated their support for their governor, and they don't seem like people who want to back out anytime soon. Kudos to Riverians for all this support to their governor, Sim Fubara. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please like this video. Don't forget to share them on all your social media handles. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you will get to see me firsthand when I drop a new update. See you next time. Once more, Merry Christmas in arrears and a prosperous New Year in advance. Bye.